And we are live. Good morning, everybody. It's your favorite truck driver in the whole wide world. Ex-truck driver in the whole wide world. It's Bitcoin Ben. Here for the morning. Wow. Holy pluckety pluck, as my wife would say. These freaking banks are dropping. Like, did you see Powell, Chairman Powell, yesterday? Nothing going on. You know, we're good. All's good. Everything's fine. Everybody settle down. You could see the sweat just like gathering on him. You could see the weight of the world just like right on his forehead. Then I wake up this morning and yeah, the banks are tanking again. There's like 6 friggin' banks that are just getting killed on the market. And the CEOs of the banks are like, no, we're good. We are good. We're gonna need a bailout. No, we're good. We're solid. Somebody buy us. Somebody freaking buy us. Give me Jamie Dimon on the phone now. These places are done. Now, last night, if you watched the 3-hour video I did on Patreon, none of this is a surprise. All right, now, today, we got something special. All right, hang on a second. And I'm going to play a certain part of a video, all right? And I want you to listen closely. This is a guy named Jeff Booth, all right? I was on a call with him while he was in the airport the other day. And this is what we talked about. This here. So he's over in the UK right now. All right. Listen to what this guy's saying, and you'll understand why I and other members and other people I'm dealing with are opening clubs, and why we are selling Liberty laptops. This will all make sense to you guys. All right? The reason I'm playing this is so you don't just hear it from me. All right? I can tell you all day long that they're going to trap you with your hardware, that they're going to trap you in the matrix using your computer. But when you hear it from a non-truck driver, see, Jeff Booth is one of the other guys like me that are living. I've already left the old system behind. So has Jeff Booth. Listen to this, and you'll figure out why you guys need to understand that we are flipping. All right? Yes. Hang on a second. Crypto Heathen. Tim Pool is also opening his own club, not crypto focused, but I'd imagine crypto friendly. Yes, he is. This is the new business model. Yes. See, notice he's opening it. Not that it's open. Who had the idea? My friends. Now, here, let me share this. Get down here. Now, listen to him very carefully. Now, after today's regular show, I'm jumping on Patreon right after this. And we're gonna talk more about this and how you get out of the old system and get into the new system, as he says, early, so you ride the adoption wave up. Those who get on the adoption curve early as an entrepreneur are going to, you can't even imagine how much money you're going to make, because as he explains, and as I know, we're switching from an inflationary currency system into a deflationary currency system, where the earlier you join the new system network as an entrepreneur, the money you earn when you're younger will be worth more in the future. Listen up.
Neurons connecting on error correction. We don't realize all of the stuff that's gone before us that we put to the background that we don't have to think about every day, because it's already been solved. That error correction has already been solved, and we move that to the background through that intelligence layer, and we deal on top of that background. That's how we solve things too. And so humans are just moving through that paradigm, that next step on evolution, where we're moving that intelligence to machines. And there's more storage, more compute, and it is logical, that it is completely logical, that And this is why people are scared of this. And there's two camps. Wow, this is going to make me way more productive. I'm going to make a ton of money. And that's partially true. If you're early on AI, what that actually means is you're going to, as the pie is shrinking, you're going to take more of it. Does that make sense? Right? So as the entire pie price is falling to the marginal cost of production, if you're early on AI, you're going to take more of it. But what you're doing is actually training the AI to take your job too. That's what you're doing. And so it's just a path that prices should fall at a faster and faster rate as you're doing that. Now, because of incentives and because of the way the world works, what people will think is, wow, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna win. And they will think they're winning in the existing system, and the whole system is kind of burning to the ground because more and more people are losing as a result of that. But it's inevitable that at some time, and I think this is why this is hard. People think in light switch moments, and their fear overtakes their ability to think. Instead of just thinking about that, think about AI as a trend that is constantly going to get better and better, and it's going to merge with machines, all sorts of machines, humanoid machines, all sorts of different machines. And the cost of those machines and the AI is going to be super intelligence, and is going to be smarter at every single thing than you are or any of us is today. And imagine that world, whether it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 100 years from now, but it's going to be a trend towards there. Wouldn't in that world food also be free?
Now, okay. God, I love this. Okay. For those of you that have watched my show, I did a lecture in Utah at the it was at a university. Okay, I can't remember the name of the university, but this was last year or the year before. All right. All right. And I actually on stage, I actually placed a $1,000 bet with a guy I know. And I said, I'll bet you in 5 years, food will be free. And his head about popped. All right. He said, wait, what? And I said, I'll bet you in 5 years that food is free. And he couldn't wrap his mind around that because he's 99.9% of people are still of the mindset of the old system. But as you understand switching from an inflationary system into a deflationary system, you understand it. But it takes, oh my God, it takes the average person who's never had a paradigm shift, right, in their heads. You know who will get this? It's Cliff High. Cliff High will get this. Like, he probably already gets it. All right, but I digress. Yes, I remember. Yeah, it. Everyone at that conference was like, "Wait, what? Free food? Oh, Jesus, Bitcoin Ben's lost its mind." Now, listen to the rest and understand that if you shift now, you don't even have to fully understand it yet. But how many people understood the internet in 1994? Not many. But listen to this.
Right? Wouldn't in that world all of these things, because it would constantly trend it down, also be free? Because there's no labor in it anymore, right? All of the labor isn't needed. So if you stop that trend by manipulating money, you concentrate the AI in very few people and everybody else is slaves. Right? That's what it would look. That's what it would look like. You have to have, and because we wouldn't vote for a system if a politician said to you, "Hey, you're going to get paid less next year, but your real income is going to go up." Most people don't even know what real wages are, right? In other words, prices are going to fall faster than your wages are going to decline. If a politician said that to you, how many people would vote for that politician? They'd look like a lunatic, right? So it's not the politicians, it's us, right? And Bitcoin won't let us change it. So it forces that function and prices, but the only way to measure that, what's happening there, the only way to measure that productivity falling is through Bitcoin. If you hold Bitcoin, you're measuring that outcome properly. If you hold fiat, you're not.
If it's inevitable that everything trends to its like marginal cost of zero, is there any point in Bitcoin is getting involved in like the policy side of things or getting angry at the New York Times on Twitter, or should we just completely separate ourselves from that system?
So for me, I can't answer for anybody else. I can't answer for Larry. I can't answer for Greg Foss. I can't, like a lot of my friends who will do that and everything else. And I actually think that some of it's really valuable, right? In a different way than what I would do. What I do though is, okay, this is all going to look like this. You can't change, a politician inside this system can't change it at all because they can't let it collapse. They have to keep printing. Nobody in that system. And all of the media channels have to do the same thing. And the next step of that is, and we should talk about Nostr. The next step of that is they have to close the communication channels. They have.
Okay. Now, this part here is wickedly important. Understand what he's saying and understand why we are building and we built and we offer the Liberty laptop. Understand what he's saying and you'll understand through the smart grid that I explained on Patreon, that they don't need to hack your Wi-Fi, that they will enter your computer through, what the hell's that? Through the new plugs, over the electrical grid, through the smart meters. That's why I've told you guys to get a Liberty laptop and learn how to use it. All right? Because when this happens, it's going to be a blackout. It's going to be a blackout, except for those who know how to go around it and have the equipment set up to go around it. The Liberty laptop is the jack in the back of the head on the matrix that lets you go in and out of the matrix without being detected. Get here. I'll put it up right here. Right there. Call 702-845-8276. Get your Liberty laptop now, so you have time to train on it, so you get used to it. Understand? I digress.
Have to. It has to look more like China. You have to lose your individual rights and freedoms. Not maybe, it has to happen. GitHub, anything related to Bitcoin on GitHub has to be taken off. Either an executive order could come tomorrow to Microsoft to say, take it all off. So the whole repository, all of that. And then on Nostr too, anything that they don't like has to. And here's the thing, people will vote to make it happen because they so need more money out of that system. That's the scary part of it. All of these things are still in front of us, and out of the existing system. So, could you yell at it? Yeah, you could yell at it, but it won't change it, right? Because again, go break a bunch of windows, go march against Wall Street, and or do what the truckers did, which I helped through Bitcoin. When I say I helped, I was a Bitcoin wallet holder on that, and just got when 70% of Canadians turn on you for free speech, you realize how manipulated the system is and how much they believe that. So they will not change. So all of those things, what will happen? They'll print more money to solve that problem, right? And everybody will go home and forget, right? And so all of those things, what you just asked, yes, you actually probably empower that system and you make it stronger, because you also pull away people, because now you could look like a conspiracy theorist, and there's a whole bunch of people that have no idea what we're talking about that move further away because it's easy to label people in-group bias, out-group bias. So they move further away from the conversation rather than closer to. And I just thought, okay, I know all of this is going to happen, so what do I do to put my time and energy into things that actually are going to make a huge difference and onboard billions of people? That's where my time and energy, again, everybody's entitled to their own thing. It's just, for my time and energy, I want to put it to where I think it will have the highest, best use.
I think I know where you want to go with Nostr now, and I think Ben's display earlier was great, because I thought of Nostr as just something that was allowing us to talk to each other, a bit like a decentralized Twitter. What I realized is actually a decentralized internet.
Yeah. So
let's talk about Nostr.
So what Ben showed you there, and there's a lot of people who think about Nostr right now, and they'd say it's clunky, it's early, all of these things. Well, when I was on Twitter early, it looked the same. When I was building on the internet early, it looked. Do you want clunky? 10 minutes to download a cat picture. You want clunky, right? That's what the internet looked like. And so that's actually where the value is, because as it's clunky, it tells you where to solve to actually create value. right? And so all of those entrepreneurs that are racing into that system are creating value to be able to solve that clunky. Now, if the communications have to be closed, if that is next in line, Operation Choke Point, all of these things is next in line, CBDC is next in line. And in China, they can say to Apple, close this, and Apple closes it. Apple complies. And if you think that that won't happen in the US or here in Europe, it will happen. It has to happen to protect the existing system. The existing system has to lock you in and destroy your money in real terms to be able to remain solvent. And then it has to do it again and again because technology is moving faster and faster. So this is a guarantee that some of these communication channels get closed. And because Nostr is integrated Bitcoin at the base layer, and it's a communication channel that nobody can stop, it's decentralized, then GitHub is going to be replaced on Nostr. YouTube is going to be replaced on Nostr. All of these centralized services, Ben showed you, Amazon is going to be replaced on Nostr, right? And instead of replacing it in a centralized version, that value is going to accrue to people, right? And prices are going to continue to fall in that version. That is very early to be able to say that. Now, think about for you personally what it means. So if you look at any other...
Okay, listen closely here. He's talking directly to you. Understand this.
Centralized application or anything that's grown really fast through network effects, YouTube, Google, Facebook, all of these things. If you're there early, Twitter, if you're there early, you're growing along the growth curve, right? So if you're providing value early, you're growing along the growth curve. And so if you're a TikTok influencer early, it's resilient. You're a TikTok now you have later on you have to fight the algorithm to stay relevant, right? And they could take away all your views tomorrow as other people are competing, but it's more likely that you'll stay relevant versus the person that's way late to that trying to get views, right? Trying to get through that noise. Try to create, if you're not on YouTube today, go and try to create a YouTube channel to get views. Good luck, right? And all of the content, everybody trying to matter and get views on YouTube, really hard. If you're already there, it persists. Now think about Nostr at the base level layer instead of at the client level. When I say client, I'm talking about instead of YouTube, the base level would be the internet or Nostr, and the client in this case would be YouTube, right? The network effects exist on the base layer, right? And the clients compete on top of that. And what that means is if you sign up
All right, I got about a minute and a half left. We're going to complete this over on Patreon because I don't want YouTube to take this video down. It's too important. So click the link under here and meet me over on Patreon right now. All right, because I'm leaving here and I'm going over to Patreon right now. So we can finish this. And there's one more that we have to watch. At the end of that, you guys will get it. You'll understand why him and I and others, not many, but a few, have already switched over to the new system and how to do it. All right. Everyone, love you guys. I'll see you over on Patreon in about maybe 10 minutes. Love you guys. Bye-bye.